You click because you've seen the trucks your dad or your uncle still drives, the ones that look like they should have died a decade ago, but somehow never do. This isn't a nostalgia trip. It's a list built on cold numbers, junkyard survival rates, mechanic shop data, and resale prices that make almost no sense in 2026. 7 trucks. Nobody over 40 even looks at them. And that's exactly the mistake. Start at number 7. The Ford F-150 from the mid-1990s, specifically the 1993 to 1996 run with a 300 straight-six engine. Younger buyers scroll right past it because it looks slow, boxy, unimpressive next to a modern turbocharged half-ton. But mechanics who've spent 30 years under hoods will tell you something different. That inline-six was practically unkillable. No turbo to fail, no complicated variable valve timing. Just a long-stroke engine that some owners have pushed past 400,000 miles without touching the internals. There's a reason fleet operators kept ordering them well into the 2000s used market. Parts cost almost nothing, and a shade tree mechanic can rebuild the whole thing with a socket set in a Saturday afternoon. But here's the part almost nobody mentions. These trucks are disappearing fast, not because they're breaking down, but because scrapyard are crushing them for cheap steel while owners assume newer automatically means better. That assumption is about to get challenged 7 more times. Number 6 pulls the curtain back further. The Toyota pickup sold in the U.S. through 1995 before Tacoma took over the name. Consumer Reports data from the 1990s still gets cited today because it recorded something almost embarrassing for competitors. Reliability scores so consistent that insurance companies noticed a pattern in claim frequency. Fewer breakdowns. Fewer tow calls. It wasn't a fluke. There's a story that circulates in off-road communities about a Toyota pickup found running in a scrapyard in Oregon. The odometer rolled over twice. Engine never rebuilt. Nobody could confirm the mileage on paper, but the truck ran. That single anecdote isn't proof by itself, but pair it with hard data, and a picture starts forming. These trucks used simple carbureted or early fuel-injected 4-cylinders, iron blocks, minimal electronics to fail. 20-year-olds today see rust and small proportions and move on. Their grandparents see something closer to a small tank. And that's the pattern building here. Cheap trucks, overlooked because they're not flashy, are quietly outperforming machines worth 4 times as much. The gap only widens as the list continues, because the next entry isn't just reliable. It's borderline notorious for surviving abuse that would total a modern truck in a single season. Number 5 is where things get almost uncomfortable for modern truck owners, because it exposes a gap nobody likes to talk about. The Chevrolet C/K series from 1988 to 1998, especially those built with the 350 small block. This wasn't a truck engineered to impress anyone. It was engineered to survive farms, construction sites, and decades of neglect, and that's precisely why it did. Here's the twist most younger buyers miss entirely. The 350 small block isn't just reliable, it's one of the most reproduced, most understood engines in automotive history. Parts aren't rare. They're everywhere. Auto parts stores stock rebuild kits without even blinking. Compare that to a modern truck's proprietary sensor array, and the contrast becomes almost unfair. Mechanics who specialize in older fleets often mention the same thing independently. These trucks rarely die from mechanical failure. They die from rust, from body panels giving out before the drivetrain ever does. Which means, ironically, the engine underneath a rusted-out C/K could easily outlive 3 modern trucks stacked end-to-end. That's not folklore. That's a pattern documented across salvage yards from the Midwest to the Southeast. But there's a catch buried inside this success story, and it's the reason nobody under 40 considers buying one. No airbags in early models, minimal crash structure by today's standards, a ride that feels agricultural compared to anything built after 2010. Safety technology moved forward. Longevity, in some very specific mechanical ways, didn't necessarily move with it. That tension is worth sitting with, because it explains exactly why this list keeps splitting people by age. Number 4 flips the story into something almost strange. The Nissan Hardbody sold through the 1990s under different trims depending on the market. It doesn't get talked about the way the Toyota does, and that's arguably its biggest advantage. Less demand, lower prices, same engineering philosophy. Simple, non-turbocharged 4-cylinder and V6 options, minimal onboard computer dependency, straightforward suspension geometry. There's a detail almost nobody outside enthusiast forums brings up. Nissan used a particular body-on-frame construction on the hardbody that flexed slightly under stress instead of cracking, which meant the frame absorbed abuse that would twist or fracture stiffer, lighter modern frames. Off-road communities noticed this decades before automotive journalists did. It wasn't marketed as a feature. It was just how the truck happened to behave. And this is where the pattern crystallizes into something bigger than 4 trucks. Every single one so far shares the same underlying formula. Mechanical simplicity survives, and complexity, however impressive it looks in a showroom, tends to fail first. That single idea reframes almost every truck purchase decision made in the last 15 years. The next entry doesn't just fit that formula. It practically weaponizes it because the truck at number 3 has a reputation among diesel mechanics that borders on legendary, and a story behind why get stranger the deeper you go. Number 3 brings out the trucks that mechanics quietly call the tanks nobody wants to admit are tanks. The Dodge Ram 2500 and 3500 diesel models built between 1994 and 1998, running the Cummins 5. 9-liter inline-6. Ask any diesel shop owner what truck walks in least often for engine work, and this generation comes up almost every time. Here's what makes it strange. The Cummins wasn't originally built for pickups at all. It started life in industrial and agricultural equipment, engineered for machinery that couldn't afford to break down mid-harvest. Dodge borrowed it, dropped it into a truck chassis, and accidentally created something that outlasted the vehicle around it. Owners report 6-figure, sometimes 7-figure mileage with nothing more than routine maintenance. Not exaggeration. Verifiable through independent diesel forums where people post odometer photos like trophies. But there's friction underneath that success. These trucks are heavy, thirsty in stop-and-go traffic, and mechanically loud in a way modern buyers aren't used to. Younger drivers raised on smooth, insulated cabins tend to write them off within 30 seconds of a test drive. That reaction is exactly why prices on clean examples haven't spiked the way they probably should have. The demand gap isn't about the engine. It's about expectation. And that tension is the real story building across this entire list. Machines built when durability mattered more than comfort are being ignored precisely because comfort became the priority. Something's about to shift, though, because number 2 removes almost every excuse people use to dismiss older trucks. Number 2 is the Toyota Tacoma from 1995 through 2004, sitting one rung above the earlier pickup on this list for a very specific reason. Insurance data from the early 2000s flag something insurers don't usually talk about publicly. These trucks had unusually low claim rates tied to mechanical failure, low enough that some used vehicle insurance premiums reflected it. That's not marketing. That's actuarial math, and actuaries don't care about brand loyalty. There's also a detail that trips up newer buyers completely. Early Tacomas used a timing belt, not a chain, which sounds like a weakness until you realize how straightforward and cheap replacement intervals were compared to today's complex chain and tensioner systems buried under layers of turbo plumbing. Simple maintenance, done on schedule, kept these trucks running decades past their expected lifespan. Off-road forums are packed with stories of Tacomas surviving floods, rollovers, and neglect that would have ended a modern truck's life in a junkyard within a year. One recurring anecdote involves a Tacoma pulled from a ravine after sitting exposed for months, cleaned up, and driven home the same day. Impossible to verify every detail of stories like that, but the pattern across hundreds of similar accounts is hard to dismiss as coincidence. Which brings this list to its final entry, and it might be the most controversial one yet, because the truck at number 1 isn't just reliable. It's the one modern engineers openly admit they can't legally build the same way again. Number 1 is the Ford F-250 and F-350 built between 1994 and 2003 with a 7.3-liter Powerstroke diesel. And here's the claim that sounds like exaggeration until you check the source. Actual Ford engineers have said, on record, that modern emissions regulations make it nearly impossible to build an engine this mechanically simple again. That's not nostalgia talking. The 7.3 used a basic mechanical or early electronic fuel system. No complex emissions after treatment. No DPF filters clogging up. No urea injection systems to maintain. Diesel mechanics nickname it the last simple one, because everything after it got buried under sensors, computers, and regulatory hardware designed to reduce emissions, not extend lifespan. Fleet operators, tow companies, oil field crews, farmers kept these trucks running past 500,000 miles routinely. Not as outliers, as an expectation. Compare that to some modern diesels needing expensive emissions component replacements before 150,000 miles, and the irony becomes obvious. Cleaner air rules, well-intentioned, quietly shortened the mechanical lifespan of the trucks built afterward. But there's a catch, same as every entry on this list. These trucks are loud, heavy on fuel in the wrong hands, and unapologetically old school to drive. Nobody under 40 cross shops won against a new truck at a dealership. That's precisely the blind spot letting clean, high-mileage examples sit undervalued at auctions right now. 7 trucks, one pattern repeating without exception. Simplicity survived, complexity often didn't, and the vehicles nobody under 40 even considers turn out to be the ones quietly outlasting everything built to replace them. That's not an accident of engineering. It's a direct trade-off between comfort, regulation, technology, and raw durability. Somewhere along the way, the industry optimized for showroom appeal over 3-decade survival, and these 7 trucks are the proof sitting in driveways, farms, and job sites right now, still running. If this changed how you look at the truck market, that's worth sitting with for a second. And if you want more breakdowns like this built on data instead of hype, sticking around for the next one makes sense.